they're telling me that you went somewhere when you were in Egypt that you were told not to go because jinn were occupying the space. Am I correct? And she said, yeah, actually, that's exactly what happened. And I said, they've been inhabiting your body for some time, and they're causing all these anger outbursts.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Gustavo's World. And again, we have Siren in Miami. And today we have a very special episode of our series. And this is about the tarot reading, because since Siren does that for a living, I mean, it's one of the things she does. It's not what she does,
right,
but it's one of the gifts that she has.
That people love. They always want to know the cards.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So let's just go. The video is about to start. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. There we go! The first question. So, what is the tarot reading, or what is the tarot? I'm sure it has a story or stuff.
The tarot is the royal road. I mean, it goes way back into antiquity. And the tarot is comprised of, 78 cards. It's got 22 major arcana, which are like the major life lessons, like your initiations, your keys to life. Mm-hmm. Okay. So within those 22 keys, you find, if you were just to use those 22 cards alone, you would find the answers to most of life. And those were used back in the ancient times for initiation purposes. And so sometimes people could just use those cards and not the rest of the 78. Okay, but the rest of the cards are comprised of court cards and energy cards that are all related to the four elements. So you got your wands, which are fire related. You got your air, which is connected to the swords. You've got your cups connected to the heart. Your pentacles or discs connected to the physical, to wealth and health, and
Okay, so
those are manifestation cards, by the way. So
what is it though? What is the tarot? I mean, that was a question.
The tarot. I mean, there's so many ways we can go into this, but like the tarot,
it's a sort of divination.
It's divination. It's a divine tool used for centuries and beyond. Okay.
Millennials, I would say.
Yes. Yeah. And some. Okay, and some say they're tools brought by the gods. Okay, of the ancient mysteries to, and they work with you depending on how advanced you already are. So like whatever level you're on is, as far as the cards will go. Mm-hmm. But the more, let's say, esoterically advanced you are, there's no limit to what they can bring through as a portal.
What is the difference between, or among, in this case, the tarot reading, the runes, the crystal ball, the seashells, or whatever? Like some people even read the coffee, the cinnamon.
All of it.
I've seen it all. So what is it?
Leaves. You can read.
Yeah, tea leaves,
clouds.
leaves.
Everything you can use for divination.
Yeah. So basically, what is the difference? I mean, is there any methods that you recommend more than others? There's methods that you're like...
It really depends on the individual. Some people gravitate a little bit more toward the runes, or toward reading pictures in candle wax, or and the dropping. You can do that by dropping it also into water. You can drop a wax. There's so many different ways. Like if you're wanting to work with fire energy, then you'd light a candle for a particular something you're focusing on. Say, you're trying to get an idea or vision for your right line of work. You're not sure what it is. You kind of have an idea, but you need a little help from the outside forces. So you can surround yourself with a little circle of protection, a little bit of light, burn some dragon's blood for fire energy. You want to always be on the cool end with the jinn.
What's that?
The jinn are the elementals that work with fire. They're like the head of the fire.
I didn't even know what they were. They're
very well known in the Arabic tradition.
Okay.
They're no joke. And people who are people who abuse alcohol or are like unruly or drugs or abuse fire energy, they awaken the jinn, and they have lives of mischief and problems and things like that. People have come to me to remove the jinn.
Yeah.
And recently, a student of mine was dealing with some very strange things. I mean, like she had certain flare-ups, her face was turning red. I mean, I diagnosed her with all of the things that one would, represent when they have welcomed a jinn unconsciously into their lives. But this was particularly after being warned not to step into an area. I said, they're telling me that you went somewhere when you were in Egypt that you were told not to go because jinn were occupying the space. Am I correct? And she said, yeah, actually, that's exactly what happened. And I said, they've been inhabiting your body for some time, and they're causing all these anger outbursts and cause a lot of, yeah.
No, thank you.
And then everything that we talked about that night was about, like, they were interjecting their truth through everything. Everything we watched, every commercial had something to do with jinn or diamonds, because they're drawn to diamonds, and her diamond rings and things were stolen. Just those. Like, there were other things that were way more valuable, and these thieves literally went for so many. So I was able to diagnose all these things that went back to the warning that the Bedouin had given her and a friend in Egypt when they were entering a site like after twilight. Mm-hmm. And they were told to be careful entering because the jinn inhabit the space. That's when they picked it up.
Ugh.
So anyways, but I just threw that in there because probably.
So what does that have the jinn has to do with?
So divination, I was going to say, because we're talking about fire, divination, I was just giving you like an example. So if you're going to work with fire, you have to be respectful of the energies. You don't work with fire, for instance, and like blow out the candle. You snuff it. Okay. You snuff it with your fingers. People need to learn respect with the elements, and that's missing today. So people are all over the place. They have a lot of mischievous energies that run rampant because they're not balanced in nature. And within Native American tradition, we're very one with everything in nature. Mm-hmm. So teaching people these ways will, at some point, hopefully, in my vision in the future, bring some sort of balance back to the tribe of humans as one big great tribe, I would hope. Mm-hmm. And educating people back in the old ways, and in a modern way, though, in a way that we can utilize this and thrive and utilize all the advances that technology has to offer. It's not about like climbing back under a rock, but it's about that balance, having that balance, and utilizing everything as a tool. Like your brain is a tool. Your brain's an app. It's a tool. You cannot live by it. You can't let it rule your life. Just as you don't want any one particular element to rule your life. Mm-hmm. You have to be in balance with your fire, your air, your water, your earth, So you can use divination depending on what you're drawn to. Some people are more fiery, so they're going to be drawn to fire divination. So as I was saying, you could light a little candle circle, candles around you, or just some incense and dragon's blood. And then you can ask a question. You would burn a red candle and say, dear fire spirits of the south, and you face the direction of the south. And you tune into the vibration of fire if you need more fire, okay? Or if you're fiery, but you need to learn how to balance it. And you need to, because you need drive to find a new job. You need drive, energy, passion, will, determination to open the doors to new experiences, to a job, to reaching a higher vibration of love. Or, there's other things related to that. But let's just say, for like love would be pinks and greens and reds too, because you want it to be, you want passion and love. Right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, going back to that, so divination with fire would be to burn the candle, ask a question, be respectful to the fire spirits, and let them give you an answer. Sometimes you'll see it in the flame. You'll see a picture. Other times you need to take the candle and drop it into water and let the wax turn into a figure in the water. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of, we're working fire and water together. Right. But there's a lot of similarity to the energy. Yeah. So that's one. But tarot would be more connected to the air. Okay. So tarot is more air, like crystals could be more akin to water. So some people are more drawn to that. Let's say Aquarians, not trying to be typical here, But Aquarians and Pisces and even Cancers, and Aquarians are not water, they're an air sign, but they're water bearers. They are drawn a lot to crystals. So they would rather utilize that. And I'm not trying to, like I said, narrow it down to just everybody, but yeah.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that according to what is you're drawn due to your element of birth or whatever, you'll be drawn to a certain type of divination.
Natural. And most of the time you've been already doing this in other lifetimes. You're probably going to be really good at one, as opposed to others, maybe one or two. But I always recommend, I train students and groups and everything to get to expand themselves and their perceptions by trying different things.
Right.
Working with so many different avenues of divination so that everything in life is telling you a story and you're listening and you're able to put all the pieces together. And it kind of navigates you on where to go because your codes are already set for what you're supposed to be doing. You just have to learn how to listen and follow the signal, follow their lead. So but we can definitely call on things like that to help us and give us a little push when we're kind of stuck in a crux. We need to make a decision or help somebody out. But if you start to become really good and you train yourself with all the forms of divination, you don't need anything. So when people want tarot, I use the tarot because they can see the pictures and it helps people to relate physically with the changes of energy occurring. But I don't need the tarot. I'll just read somebody.
Right.
And then I'll pull the cards and the cards are saying exactly what I just said all the time.
Right.
So it's about becoming the vessel, becoming the tool. Not needing outside tools at the end of the day.
That would be great. Okay, so let's go with the next question. What are the different tarot decks?
Traditional decks are usually 78, but nowadays we have what are known as oracle cards, and they can be about mermaids, what I love, and goddesses and termites, if you want. I don't know.
Whatever.
Shit cards, different forms, or whatever. And there's everything, I say that because I have a goddess daughter. She's like a spirit daughter to me. One of my best friend's daughters, and she loves the fucking poop emoji. So she got me thinking, like, man, she's probably gonna come up with a poop deck. Anyway.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, you can go as far out there as you want, and just it really depends on what your psychic child, your inner child is really needing to feed on, to give it light, to give it life. And some of those things are perfect for that child essence to expand with and grow with. So you have to change it up. Don't get stuck with one deck. It's good to have a basic deck that you can rely on, that no matter what, if you can't get a clear read on other ones, you can go back to that one. And sometimes you can use a couple decks at the same time.
Oh, look at that. You don't
have to get stuck. So constantly expand. Don't be afraid to experiment. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. And I'm also the one that will say, use a Ouija board too. And I'm not saying to be so superstitious about things. It just, people need to take more risks and not be so afraid of energies, because the only way to learn and to gain wisdom in life is by experimenting and not being afraid of the outcomes, but going all the way in, what's the worst that can happen?
People say by a genie. By a genie. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. That's clicking on the little bell. Comment all you want. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like.
Don't forget to subscribe to grow the community.
And also, don't forget to follow our social media. And if you want to go ahead and share this video in all your platforms, share the love. Till next time!
Bye.